plenty of competitive decks in the December 2017 format. I think I'd unearthed a very important deck, a very good deck, an extraordinary competitive deck. You can call this the Holy Grail of Yu-Gi-Oh! Get it? I unearthed the Holy Grail because Earth is world and Grail is Chalice. Y'all like that? And well, there's more puns to come. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys really like this video, you should be throwing a World Chalice Lee at the subscribe button, but you can also inbook the notification bell because we too strong. I mean, this deck is underrated everywhere. It's globally underrated. I'm going to be showing you some awesome combos as well as a really good deck profile that you can take to a regional, YCS, or local level event and scrape your opponent while taking them by surprise. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, who am I kidding? Alright, gentlemen, we're going to be starting off with the monsters. I mean, my cup runneth over with monsters in the deck. There's 30 of them. I don't know if you guys will guess that one. But we're going to start off with 3 copies of Lee World Chalice Fairy. Is it in a good position? What Leech World Chalice Fairy does is, if it is normal summon or special summon, you are allowed to add 1 World Chalice monster from your deck to your hand. It's a really good card. I mean, it's great. The next thing is, if it's in your graveyard, you can tutor this card from your graveyard to your hand by discarding 1 card from your hand. It is the most important card. It being a light fairy monster only adds more to this deck's importance, or this card's importance. 3 copies of World Chalice, World Legacy World Chalice. This card has some awesome effects. Okay, so first, if your opponent were to special summon a monster from the extra deck, you can send this card to the graveyard to negate the summon and send that monster to the graveyard. That's pretty damn good. But that's not where this card's true value comes from. If it's normal summoned and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 2 World Chalice monsters from your deck to your side of the field. That's exactly where this card's value coming from. And being able to tutor more monsters from our deck to our side of the field is a pivotal for this deck. The next best thing about it is, if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to add 1 World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. More on about that a little later because it's a pretty saucy effect. 2 copies of World Chalice Guard Dragon. He is holding a soccer ball. I mean, this deck can easily win the World Cup. Get it? World Chalice Cup, World Cup. Yeah. I mean, Man U has nothing on this deck. This card has so much utility. It's a freaking hand trap. When one of your linked monsters is targeted by a card effect, you can discard this card, negate the activation, and destroy it. But that's not why we play 2 copies of this card. The main reason why we play this card is that we can banish it to target one of our link monsters and special summon a normal monster to this card's linked arrow, or to the card's linked arrow. So that card is really good for tutoring more monsters from our graveyard to our side of the field after we've tutored monsters from our deck to our side of the field through World Chalice World Legacy. 3 copies of Chosen by the World Chalice. This normal monster is the best normal monster out for the World Chalice deck right now. Beckon doesn't really do anything anymore. We can't make Die Booster Emerald. And then the other one, the level 2 one that nobody even remembers, doesn't do anything for the deck. This card is really good because it's not only level 3, but it's psychic, so it can be special summoned through emergency teleport, giving us free access to a World Chalice monster on our side of the field. Now, I know that this is a World Chalice deck with a Christian meaning with Chalice sometimes, because that's what it could happen. But 3 copies of Exodus can definitely ice the cake when it comes to biblical religious meanings. No? Or no, that's not cool. Okay, this card can only be special summoned by returning all of our monsters in the graveyard into our deck. So basically it's saying, hey, TheCaliEffect, do you like recycling your deck? And I'm like, yeah, I like recycling my deck. It's like, go ahead, I'll even give you a free monster. You guys are probably wondering, why would I want to do that? I'm going to tell you guys with the next card. So this earthly deck, just like all earthly men, need an earthly woman, which women are from Venus. But not all men need women. Some men like men. Not all women need... Okay, look, we're not going to get into that philosophy. 3 copies of the Agent Creation of Venus. Get it? I mean, because World, Earth, Venus, woman, whatever. This card, at the cost of 500 life points, allows us to special summon Mystic Shine Balls. I gotta get older. From our deck to our side of the field. It also works really well with Exodus. This deck used to be able to power out a lot of link monsters by making Die Booster Emerald to shuffle in those monsters to our deck. Now Exodus takes the wheel and be able to special summon it and recycle those Shine Balls again for some major link summons. Of course, the 3 copies of Mystical Shine Ball. That is going to be the card that you're going to special summon through Venus and create so many combos with. 1 copy of Gem Knight Garnet. Garnet is the brilliant fusion Infusion Engine card, allowing you to send Lee World Chalice Fairy to your graveyard to tutor it back into your hand and give you an additional normal summon. Rescue Rabbit, in theory, only has one real target chosen by the World Chalice, which is often summoned from the deck to our side of the field, can often be searched or special summoned to our side of the field, or even drawn. So it seems often unreliable in theory, but it works out really well, especially with 3 copies of Exodus. This card is just fucking amazing. Opening this card is really good. It's an awesome starter card. 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This card allows me to negate my opponent from going into their deck. I mean, this deck actually goes into the deck a lot. So, you know, Ash Blossom is pretty good against this deck until you realize that I'm playing 3 copies of Psy-Frame Gear Gamma. We play quite a few cards like Rescue Rabbit that removes our field presence when we go into our deck, and our opponent with Ash Blossom, we're like, nigga, no. I activate Psy-Frame Gamma, special summon that in a Psy-Frame Driver, and then use these cards for more link plays. Sometimes when your opponent Ash Blossoms you, can only fuel your link plays with this deck. So you might be licking your chops and hoping that your opponent has an Ash Blossom within this deck. Between that, Brilliant Fusion, Rescue Rabbit, and Transmodify, your opponent's gonna have a lot of Ash targets. So this is not only gonna stop their Ash targets, but also allows me to play Yu-Gi-Oh on their turn. Then the 1 copy of Maxi. This deck actually works really well the more cards that it can get into. If going second, even drawing 1 card with Maxi is really good for this deck. So that's it for the monsters. We run 30 copies, 30 monsters. I know that is a lot. And this deck is combo hilarious. I mean, Jesus, take the wheel with the combos with this deck. Or you can take the Chalice because, you know, the Last Supper. But we're not going to talk about that. Next, we're going to talk about the spells. We run 12 copies of them. 3 copies of Brilliant Fusion. That's going to get you into your play. Ironically, you can actually resolve multiple Brilliant Fusions by summoning Exodus after you've gotten rid of your Seraph Knight and your Garnet. So there's that. 3 copies of Transmodify. This card allows you to tutor your Lee World Chalice Fairy into a Venus, which is combos for days. 1 or 2 copies of World Legacy's Heart. This is the card that you search with World Legacy World Chalice. It allows you to tutor 2 World Chalice cards from your graveyard to your hand and fuel so many extension plays. 1 copy of Soul Charge. I mean, Soul Charge is really nasty good with this deck. It can summon a lot of monsters from the deck to the side of the field, and Soul Charge only fuels that. 1 copy of Emergency Teleport to special summon what is chosen by the World Chalice to our side of the field. Foolish Burial to send Lee World Chalice from our deck to our graveyard, and sometimes just other cards that we need to our graveyard, but Lee is really important, so Foolish to Lee, discard to Lee, add to Lee, and now you have a combo. And then Mind Control is a really good card. You steal your opponent's monster and then you make a link with it. If they have a Firewall on the field, well, they're not going to be really happy with the choices you're going to do with that Firewall Dragon. So that's it for the main deck at 42 cards. Now, normally when I play this deck, it's just, man, it's literally, you can call it I-Cup. Like, seriously, spell that out. And that's what you normally see when I do it. All right, now dial it back, you pervert, if you spelled it out outside. Like, you're so weird. Just stop. Next, we're going to go on to the links. And with links, we run 1 copy of Ningrisu. You don't really need more than 1. It's a really good card. Drawing 3 cards off of this card summon is amazing. Sending dead Brilliant Fusions to your graveyard to send cards to your opponent's side of the field is amazing. But you don't need more than 1. It's just a really good card, and you can recycle it with Exodus if you need it. 2 copies of Firewall Dragon. This card is really dumb to make. Like, normally when I make World Chalice and draw 3 cards, that means I have this plus 2 of the World Chalice Link monsters. So I proceed to make double Firewall right after that, after drawing 3 cards, and it gets, man, it's really good. 1 copy of Tri-Gate Wizard. This deck can actually make, let me put these like this. This deck can actually make Tri-Gate Wizard fairly easy. It's really good to make it with, you know, 3 monsters pointing to it because it has a really good effect. 3 copies of Imp. Now, I was pretty skeptical at running 3 copies of Imp. There are actually quite a few times where I get deep into my extenders and I need a 3rd Imp. But you guys, if you really wanted to, you can run Cypher Lord Omega, Borolo Bragan, or even Akahistic Magician. Those are some really good options other than 3 Imp. But 2 Imp, I want to say, is mandatory. 2 copies of Aurum of the World Chalice. This card is nasty good. It can tribute any of your linked World Chalice monsters to summon any monster from your graveyard to your side of the field. You can bring back Firewall Dragons, Tri-Gate Wizards, whatever. It just, like, it's really nasty. 1 copy of Proxy Dragon. This card actually is the only rank 2 monster that isn't specific, unlike Ib and Aurum. 3 copies of Idmuk. This is really important. It gives us an additional normal summon. You can't stack it with Gem Knight, Seraph Knight, but you know, it's still really good. Also, it requires next to nothing to summon him. It's just a really good card. Link Spider allows you to use normal monsters like Cypher and Driver to summon this, and sometimes we actually need more links on the field than anything, so it's a very welcome card. And then Gem Knight, Seraph Knight. Now, my mother said, she always used to say, he's got the whole world in his hands. Little did I know, she was talking about future premonitions of me playing this deck. Never would have thought of that. On to the sideboard. Woo! Sideboard has 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Really good at destroying your opponent's cards. I mean, we sided in like for field spells, Megalo, stuff like that. It's just a really awesome card. I don't think it would be really useful in the main deck with the main deck cards that we have, or against the main deck cards that we have. 3 copies of Artifact Lancia. This deck makes huge boards. Trigate Wizard is a part of that combo, so you can prevent yourself from being evenly matched, but why not have extra protection inside of Artifact Lancia? 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. This card is like, I mean, it's just pretty good. I mean, stopping your opponent from searching. I think this deck's goal is to get as many monsters. All right, I said that wrong. Let me take that back because I didn't say it right. This deck's goal, did I do it right? All right, is to get as many monsters on the board as possible. I mean, that really didn't link together well, so I let my monsters do that. No? Alright, whatever. 2 copies of Book of Eclipse. When I go second and I need to break boards, keep in mind, Link monsters can't be flipped face down. So if I go first or second, but hypothetically, if I go first, I make a board full of links and I set this card, my opponent starts to make their links, I Book of Eclipse them all. I don't care about them drawing because next turn I'll OTK them. Raigeki, Dark-Hole, Board Clearance, and then 3 copies of Evenly Matched. That's going to pretty much sum up the side deck. I don't really have any budget options for this deck right now because I was like seriously playtesting in the competitive stance, and I'm seriously thinking about taking it to events. It's really good. So that's it for the main deck, the extra deck, and side deck. Now I'm going to take you guys to the not a combo tutorial, but some test hands. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on to the test hands. I'm going to show you 1 test hand because this deck is extensive as hell. It can take a long time for me to play Yu-Gi-Oh with this deck. Also, I'm still balancing out what exactly I want. I want to give you guys a final build of this deck sometime soon. So let's get to 100 likes to show you guys a final build. Opening up with our 5 cards, we're going to open Rescue Rabbit, our one of. Awesome. World Chalice, Guard Dragon, World Chalice, that, Transmodify, and Mystical Shine Ball. Now, this is going to put me in quite the conundrum, not because of it's a bad hand, it's an awesome hand, it's what exactly do I want to do? I think I'm going to start off with the Rescue Rabbit, activating its effect to banish itself, and that's going to summon 2 Arms to our side of the field. I was trying to think, like, dang, TheCaliEffect, do you have any of the extenders to add your Lee from your deck to your hand? Unfortunately, I don't, so this one might be a little quick. I do have a way by summoning the Shine Ball to get, you know, the monster that I want to my side of the field, but I don't think that's not going to be on the field anytime soon. So this arm is going to use itself to summon Idmuk, and then I'm going to tribute Chosen for the 2nd World Legacy. I'm going to go ahead and use both of these cards for Aurum, and then trigger my Legacy and my Idmuk. That's going to special summon 3 monsters to my side of the field. Oh wait, I do have it. So Lee, World Fairy right there. And I'm also going to summon, I need a normal monster. So I'm going to summon my 3rd Chosen. I still have sauce with this deck. I thought it was a dead hand, and it turned out to still be sauce. Lee, World Chalice Fairy is going to activate its effect. I'm going to go ahead and search the 2nd Guard Dragon from my deck to my hand. Sorry about that. I noticed you guys didn't notice, but my battery did die. So now we have Lee, World Chalice to add the Guard Dragon, a Guard Dragon on the field, and a Chosen by the World Chalice on our side of the field as well. And I'm trying to figure out, once I make the Ningirtsu, then we go back into making Yu-Gi-Oh plays again. I want to keep the Lee, World Chalice Fairy on my side of the field for the Transmodified play, which is actually, I think it's going to lead me to using Chosen by the World Chalice to making our 2nd Idmuk. Now, that's going to be pretty important that we're going to make the 2nd Idmuk, and I'll show you guys in a second. We're going to go ahead and transmodify the Lee right into our Venus. That's going to be in the furthest column. Now that Venus is in our furthest column, we can really get the I can use Aurum to tribute the Idmuk, to summon Idmuk, and then that'll trigger to special summon the Guard Dragon. And then I can special summon the Shine Ball. We'll go ahead and summon the Shine Ball first. Use these two monsters to make our Ib. Why is he calling me? I'll talk to him in a second. That's going to make our Ib. And then we are going to use Shine Ball's effect again to summon, or Venus's effect again to summon another Shine Ball. Now we do have enough to make the, we'll summon the third Shine Ball. We do have enough to make the Ningirsu, which we will do. We'll summon the Proxy Dragon. We'll make the Ib. And then we'll use these two to summon our Ningirsu, which would draw 3 cards and special summon. So 1, 2, 3, special summon. And we are back rolling. This is crazy right now. We have some really, really, really crazy combos. Did I use this to tribute yet? I don't think so. I don't think I did. If I did, you guys are going to catch me. If I didn't, my opponent probably didn't know, and which means I'm going to be able to get the fuck off. These, I want to use these two to make the firewall, and I think that's where I always make my mistake. I did mess up by having the Guard Dragon on the Ib, and I think we can correct that, though. I still think that we can make some awesome plays. Maybe I can do that. Hey. We'll use those to link out into the firewall right here. And ultimately, I want to be able to make Tri-Gate Wizard. That's going to be our biggest thing right now. I'm going to use Aurum's effect to tribute the Idmuk. And it summons any monster, which is kind of crazy. I don't have any 2s in grave. No, we'll keep that on the field right now. I thought I had another Idmuk. What did I use to make the firewall? All right, whatever. We'll banish this to summon a Aurum to our side of the field. And then we'll use both of these monsters to summon our second Ib. That will trigger our Idmuk to special summon this to our side of the field. And keep in mind, when that card leaves the field, Firewall's effect will trigger. We also still have another summon through Brilliant Fusion. So we are in there, boys. We're going to make that Tri-Gate Wizard. There's no way in shape or form that I'm not going to make that Tri-Gate Wizard. Okay, that's good. We might want to activate it then. We might want to activate it. So what else? U plus U. Yeah, you two. Did I want to do that? I think I wanted to do that. You two are going to make the Tri-Gate Wizard. I feel like this is not the best play right now. It feels like it, but it doesn't feel like it. I know I used this effect to tribute. So now we have the Tri-Gate Wizard on 2 targets. Firewall should have been made up here, so I should have used Aurum. Okay, can we still go off? Okay, so I see where I made my slight mistake. Can we rectify that mistake? I don't think so, because I haven't used... Oh, no, I know exactly how to rectify that mistake. So take away the Tri-Gate, put this back, activate the effect of Lee, and we'll discard the Venus to add... Oh, no, I guess it didn't matter, because this will be to our side of the field regardless. So yeah, if we use these two to make the Tri-Gate, Firewall will summon. We won't be able to activate another card effect to get a monster on the field, which means that Firewall should have been either right here or right here. That's fine though. So yeah, again, I'm still really testing with this deck, and it's kind of hard. Like Brilliant Fusion, I can make another Firewall. What am I doing? I can make another Firewall, Brilliant Fusion, Seraphonite right here. 1, 2. That sucks. This is hard. Well, you guys see a huge board. Again, I am testing with this deck. I want to make double Firewall Tri-Gate, and I think that my placement was a little off. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of testing with this deck, and we're going to be streaming with it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. The main thing was to get another normal monster to make the Link Spider, and then we'd be perfect. That's all we needed was the normal monster to get the Link Spider to our side of the field. What I could have just used the Firewall Dragon to add a normal monster to my hand, to special summon, and then use the Link Spider. That would have still stayed in my hand with that. So there we have it. We have the Tri-Gate negate, the Firewall Dragons on the field. We could make a second Firewall, but that's not really needed. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. If you guys want to check out some awesome awards, and I mean awesome rewards, then check out the Patreon. We have so many things for our subscribed Patreon members. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.